All right, we are back. At least I think we're back. I'm trying to tune in now with my phone to see if we are back. It says I'm live, but am I really live? I got distracted. I started scrolling through what other people are streaming. Audio check. All right, we are live. And Stream Elements has announced that we have gone live. Well, thank you, Stream Elements. I appreciate that. Okay. So, hello everyone. This is part 2 of Monday Marvels for Old School RuneScape. So, we were streaming just a few moments ago. It was to celebrate the month of Valentine's Day, and so we were having ourselves a second screening of a game called 10 Dates, which is sort of like an interactive movie. And unfortunately, this second screening did not go so well for our main protagonist. But we do have one more Monday stream session with that game to go, so we'll see how he fares next Monday. But because our Monday stream sessions are typically 4 hours long, I mean, it depends on the length of the game, but this one was quite short. It lasts like maybe an hour. I thought to do something else, to stream something else for today, to sort of dive into, or to, I guess, to lengthen our stream session for Monday. And to that end, we are getting back into some old school RuneScape. Now, I was saying close to the end of our stream just a few moments ago before we swapped games that I do have an issue with old school RuneScape. And I think I would say the major issue that I might be having with this game is a shift in priorities. So, with old school RuneScape, and I'm not going to log in right now because if I log in and I just go on this little rant that I'm going on, I'll probably put down the controller and talk for 5 minutes and it'll just boot me back out to the screen anyway. So, when I first started looking into MMORPGs, it was because I wanted to be able to play something that I did not feel compelled necessarily to stream. I wanted something that I could play randomly whenever I felt like it, that wasn't dependent on me sort of being scheduled to a certain day or to stream a certain thing on a certain day. And so that's why I thought, well, I guess I need a game that I can just drop in, drop out, a game that has some content, but that can also be very chill and relaxed. And old school RuneScape is in fact that way. It's very chill, it's very relaxed if you want it to be. If you want to pursue other goals, you can do that too. And so I felt like MMORPGs might be a good resort for me to do something like that. And the reason I settled on old school RuneScape, or I guess the reason I settled on RuneScape over something like EverQuest or maybe something like Ultima Online, is because and even Final Fantasy 11 or 14, is because the gaming computer I'm using to play this is Valve's Steam Deck. And in fact, Steam Deck is even in the tag for this stream. And if you use a Steam Deck and you navigate the Steam store, it will tell you what games are most compatible with the Steam Deck. Ultima Online isn't even on there, so far as I'm aware. nor is Final Fantasy 11 or 14. I do not think. I didn't check for them, but I feel like they're not there. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But the reason why I'm not a big fan of FF11 or 14, I did play FF11 for a few months many years ago, is that they are ultimately paid subscription services. And because this isn't going to be a dedicated thing with MMORPGs, I just kind of want to dabble with it and have fun every once in a while. I don't want to feel like I have to pay a monthly subscription because I don't feel like I'm going to get that invested into it. And while I think FF14 to an extent, it has become free to play, it's more like a free trial, like a very lengthy free trial, as opposed to truly being free to play. And so that's what kind of steered me away from Final Fantasy. As far as something like Ultima Online, my friend Wipeout talks very, very highly about that game. But you can't download that from Steam, and so I don't know how compatible it would be. As far as EverQuest goes, I think some people have gotten EverQuest to work on their Steam decks, and that's very tempting for me. But officially, EverQuest is not supported on the Steam Deck. So that really kind of just narrowed down my options to RuneScape. And it seems that both old school RuneScape and RuneScape 3 are compatible with the Steam Deck. And so I looked into both games. And it seems that more people, in fact, way more people, are interested in old school RuneScape than they are in RuneScape 3. In fact, from the last video comparison that I saw, old school RuneScape has like triple the audience of RuneScape 3, like the average monthly player base. And so I thought, you know what? Let's go with old school RuneScape. It seems to be the favorite. And I typically like starting in a game or a game series at the beginning and working from there. So let's go old school. And so that's why I chose it. And I have to say, I've been having fun with it. I really, really love the writing in old school RuneScape. It feels like the personality your character has is a reflection of you. It feels like it's a reflection of someone from the real world playing a game. And it's a bit fourth wall breaking, or maybe bending. But I like that. I think it's a lot of fun. So big fan of the writing. The graphics, to me, aren't too big a deal. Typically, MMORPGs have lesser graphics than other games of their ilk, of their generation, just because of their massively multiplayer online nature. So I don't really have an issue with them. The sound or music, it's okay. Nothing to complain about, nothing to exceptionally praise either. Though I do like the salsa theme that sometimes plays, or a salsa-like tune that sometimes plays when you're in the main city, the main starting city. The thing that's gotten to me is the magic. Oh, one moment. Wipeout is back. Wipeout said, I just tried to raid you, and I was not able to. That's weird. You're back now, though. Maybe that's because Twitch still thought I was, like, not streaming yet? I don't know. It took a while for Stream Elements to say that I was streaming. So that might have something to do with it. But Twitch would literally not let me raid you. Yeah, it probably thought you were raiding someone who wasn't live. But thank you for the attempt, Wipeout. And thank you for being here and hanging out. So getting back to why I was playing RuneScape. I said to myself, you know, I'm probably just going to dial in and just do some crafting, and that's about it. And that's how I intend to spend the majority of my RuneScape time. I'm going to log in, chop some wood, do some fishing, cook, eat, and that's probably how I'm going to spend hours in this game world, just doing that. And I won't be doing that to level up those skills. I'll be doing that just because I feel like being chill, just doing something on stream, talking to people, having fun. And the game, old school RuneScape, is almost more like a backdrop to do that. But I found as I've continued playing old school RuneScape that my priorities have somewhat shifted a little bit. From doing the very few gathering quests, not gathering quests, I'm sorry, the very few combat quests that I've accomplished, specifically the magic quests, it's been fun. It's been fun to kill some enemies and to level up, and every few levels to get awarded with something new. Um, from the air staff to the earth staff to the fire staff, and I like the way that the staff mechanic works. How if you're holding a staff of that certain element, that means you don't need runes of that certain element. So a lot of that is really cool to me, and I was thinking about maybe just continuing to play old school RuneScape in pursuance of becoming sort of a really awesome, powerful mage. But even if I were to do that, I probably only really heavily pursue that like 40% of the time that I'm playing the game. And the other 60%, I would probably just piddle around and just do what I originally intended to do with the game, which is just to, again, chop wood, fish, and cook. But it seems to be really hard to be a mage in this game, unless I'm missing something, and I totally could be missing something, because I do not have a lot of knowledge or a lot of time in old school RuneScape. But this is what I understand about RuneScape and its magic system so far. In order to use magic in RuneScape, you need runes. You need magic runes. To cast any spell, you need mind runes. I guess that helps you attune your mind to the world of magic. And then the other runes pertain to the elemental spell that you're trying to use. So, for instance, if I want to use a fire spell, which I have access to a low-level fire spell, I would need a fire rune, and then I would need 2 air runes. I'm guessing, like, I'm trying to think about it logically, why you would need 2 air runes. I guess you would need 1 air rune to sort of act as a bubble that would go around the fire to keep it from just, like, going everywhere. And then you would need the power of the second air rune to actually push the bubble of air with fire in it out, sort of cast the spell away from you and hit something. But you need to use runes to cast your spells. And I'm okay with that. And you can hold a lot of runes, a lot of elemental runes. Like, I think I have like over 100 air runes and over 100 mind runes. So, you know, more than enough. I don't have to have fire runes on me, though I do have some, because I'm currently wielding a fire staff, which means I basically have infinite fire runes. Also, you cannot dual wield staves. I've tried that. That would be pretty awesome. Where I can hold like a fire rune or a fire staff in one hand and an air staff in the other hand. And that means all I would have to use would be mind runes. You can't do that. You can only wield one staff. And I get why that is. Like, I would want to like be able to dual wield staves, which would actually take away a shield slot from you. If you're dual wielding staves, you can't hold a shield, so you would be as defensive. So that would essentially make you more of a glass cannon, which is kind of how, in my mind, mages are supposed to be. And then wear a necklace, and maybe on that necklace it can be enchanted with like an infinite mind rune, the same way your staves are enchanted with infinite fire runes and air runes. So that we can essentially cast spells for free without having to rely on the rune system at all. That would be awesome. Problem with that is you would simply be too overpowered. Like, you would be ridiculously OP. Because, I mean, imagine any other MMORPG where you could cast magic and you didn't need stuff like ethers to replenish your mana, or there was no downtime like in EverQuest where you had to just wait for your mana to come back. It's just you could just cast infinite spells without stopping. That would be way too crazy. So I can get why they have some sort of limitation and why they attached it to runes. But the issue that I have is how to get those runes. And so there's only 2 ways that I'm aware of to get runes when you're running low or you're running out. The first way is you can go and buy them. That seems to be the optimal way. You can go to a magic shop and you can buy a stack of elemental runes. Now, the stack of runes can be costly, but I guess if you're really deep into the game and you've found a way to earn a consistent amount of money, and a consistent way to earn a lot of money, then it's not really an issue. Though you do have to wait around after you buy a stack of runes from the magic merchant for those runes to be replenished in the shop. And I don't know how often that is. It could be every 5 minutes. It could be every 5 hours, somewhere in between. Maybe it's every in-game day. I have no idea. But you can't just buy infinite runes whenever you want to. You can only buy so many runes within a given period of time. So that's something. The other way to go get runes is you have to mine them yourself. So you would have to talk to an NPC. They teleport you to a mine. You bring a pickaxe. You mine some basically raw raw rune essence, which are blank stones. Then you travel with the help of a guiding, I want to call it a totem. It's not a totem. It's something else, but it's basically a totem. That totem directs you to an altar. You pray at the altar, and you turn those blank runes into runes of that specific element. But here's the problem I have with that. With elemental runes, it seems that they can either stack infinitely, or they can at least stack into the hundreds. But if it is a blank rune, if it has no elemental imprint on it yet, you can only hold as many as your inventory will allow, and each blank rune takes up 1 space. You can only hold like 30 items in your inventory. So let's say you're not bringing with you any other items, any normal items, like you're not holding on you tinder boxes or your axe or your fishing net. Let's say you put all that away. The only item you have on you is your pickaxe because you wanted to go mine the rune essence. And let's say you don't even have to have a slot dedicated to the totem because the totem isn't grafted onto your necklace, so it has basically infinite charges, so that directs you there. So maybe you can hold, 29 blank runes? And so you're going to go to an altar, and you're going to transfer those 29 blank runes into, say, 29 elemental runes. Let's say 29 air runes, right? 29 air runes. Alright, so now we got some air runes. Now let's go back to what I previously said about the fire spell that I'm using. It uses 1 fire rune, which I basically have infinite fire runes because I'm wielding a fire staff, 2 air runes, and a mind rune. Okay, so I'm going to have to burn through 2 air runes. So what's 29 divided by 2? Let's make the math easier. Let's say 30, right? So that's 15 spells. Well, okay. How many fire spells does it take to kill something at my level? Well, it depends. If it's my level, like between 3 and 4. Let's ballpark it. Let's round down. Let's say it's 3. So that means I can kill 10 enemies, right? 3 spells, 30 runes. 30 divided by 3 is 10. I can kill 10 enemies before I need to go get more runes. How long does it take me to kill an enemy? Maybe 10 seconds with my magic? Not long, probably less. So, okay. 10 seconds. 10 enemies. 10 times 10, that's 100 seconds. 100 divided by 60 seconds in a minute, that's about 1 minute and 40 seconds. So it takes me about 1 minute and 40 seconds to blow through those runes. How long does it take me to craft those runes? Well, for my starting city, I have to walk to the merchant or the wizard who can teleport me to the rune mine. That takes about 5 minutes. Then once I'm teleported, I have to go in, harvest the runes, and then leave. How long does that take? Well, that probably takes about another 5 minutes. Okay, well, now that that's done, how long does it take to go to the altar where I can change those runes into elemental runes? About 5 minutes. So now, how long does it take to actually turn those runes into elemental runes and then get back out onto the world map to use them? I'd say less than 5 minutes. Maybe, from what I've seen, like 2 or 3. So, you know what? Let's not even count that time. Again, trying to make the math easy here. Let's say it was instant, right? So I've said 5 minutes 3 times. So that's 15 minutes. So I spent 15, and that's if you're focused. That's if you're just like point A to point B. It takes me 15 minutes to craft enough magic that I'm going to burn through in 1 minute and 40 seconds. That's bad. Like, that's one of the worst design decisions I have ever seen in Magic. Like, ever. The only exception to that would be is if Magic were so OP in the game that, like, my level 1 fire spell would, like, two-shot a boss. If that were the case, if Magic were that ridiculously overpowered in the game, I'd be like, I understand. I get it. Magic is, like, way too OP. You need to severely restrict it. No one's really supposed to be a mage. You're just supposed to use your staff to, like, whack stuff on the head most of the time. And every once in a great while, if you feel like you really need it, use magic. That doesn't come off as how RuneScape is to be played, though. But now I understand. Now I understand as I walk through the world, not that many high-level players have staves. Most have swords. Or most have bows. Not many have staves because to get that magic back, you really have to put in some work. Unless you're wealthy and you could just buy stacks of elemental runes. So that's why I'm like, I'm not sure how much longer I'll play. I feel like I'll play old school RuneScape until, like, I run out of magic runes, and then I'll just hop to another MMO. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. So let me go back to stream chat here. I know quite a few people have been saying stuff here, but I've kind of been off on a little focused rant. And now I'll get back to what's going on in chat, and then we'll try to dive into RuneScape, see if we can do some more quests. Alright, Wipeout said, listening to you talk about MMOs, honestly I don't think you'll like Ultima. I think EverQuest is probably your bread and butter. Could be. I fell in love with EverQuest back on PlayStation 2. And, yeah. I really liked it, and I could almost see going back, but the version of EverQuest I played is no longer alive. It's been shut down. There are people trying to resurrect it. And I wish them success. But I feel like I've had my time with EverQuest on PS2. Like, even if they got it running, I don't think I'd go back. It was a great experience. I don't regret it. I was into that game for 6 years straight. And that's what began my back catalog of other games. But I want to try new things. I'm all about new experiences. My channel is mainly a first playthrough channel. There are always exceptions to that rule, but mainly I do first playthrough. So I want to try new things. Now, I would look at EverQuest, the original EverQuest, as a new thing. It's still the same license, still some of the same key NPC characters, but it would be a different world, a different environment, and for me, it would be a new thing with a touch of the familiar. And so I would welcome that. So ultimately, I may wind up going to that. And I've said that before. My plan was to actually beat old school RuneScape. I don't know if that's still going to happen. But after beating it, I would go to the original EverQuest, play through that. And then from there, I would move on to try Ultima Online. And then I would kind of cycle back, play RuneScape 3, then EverQuest 2, and then we'd evaluate where to go from there. But we'll see. I might be shifting over from old school RuneScape to the original EverQuest sooner than originally planned. We'll see. Fusion says, getting runes is so easy. I have tens of thousands of them. But how long have you been playing, Fusion? Wipeout says, Ultima has something similar for spellcasting. You need regents. Like Black Pearl, like Black Pearl, Blood Moss, Spider Silk, Mandrake Root, Sulfuric Ash, Ginseng, Garlic, and Nightshade. Fusion says, if you're just wanting to do straight magic, you'll be stuck like you are. gotta expand your play style. And if you're farming, for example, hill giants, you'll get rune drops at random, and they are random rune drops. I tend not to like random stuff. Like, I want to be focused on, like, I'll do it. I'll camp something for random stuff. But typically, if it's an item that I'm camping that may or may not drop, then I want that to be something that is not a consumable, like a cool weapon or a cool piece of armor, not a rune that I would blow through and that I would need to go back and farm again for. Just because, I mean, farming can be fun, but I'm not one who typically likes to like just grind. At least not grind by like attacking enemies. I'll do it and I'll try to make the most fun out of it that I can, but that's not something I would like opt to do. Like, I'm more of a lore and story person, so for me it's more about exploration. It's more, it would even be more about crafting, about questing, stuff like that is what I really enjoy about MMORPGs. Wipeout says each spell needs a certain combination of those materials to cast. So you keep a bag of them on you. Fusion says just doing one style of gameplay, you'll be in the situation you are feeling. Yeah. And that might be what has me, Fusion. Like, I've just been focused on just wanting to be a pure mage. And I guess that's like one of the mixed blessings of RuneScape, you could call it. And that RuneScape is very different from what I'm used to, which is EverQuest. In EverQuest, your character is very much chained to a specific class. And because of that, I think the game may have made it easier to play that certain class. In RuneScape, that's not the case. In RuneScape, you could be the best at literally everything. You could be the best woodcutter, you could be the best fire maker, you could be the best cook, you could be the best mage, you could be the best warrior, you can be the best everything with one character. And so it feels more like old school RuneScape doesn't really want you to be like the best mage. It wants you to be the best everything. And if you do that, then the game will reward you. But that's not really like the way I want to play. Playing that way would make you basically the ultimate character. It would make you like all powerful because you could do everything. But I like the fact of having weaknesses in my character. I like the fact that I'm sort of shoehorning myself in to something very specific. That's even how I've played like my characters in Borderlands, where I've said like, you could either try to make your character more well-rounded, which strategically would be smarter, or you could sort of ignore their weaknesses and just try to shore up or just try to build up their strengths to make them better at what they're meant to be used for. And if you do that, when you get into a situation where their strengths can be utilized, they're going to absolutely dominate. But when you get into a situation where you really should have like focused more on the weaknesses, you're going to be in some trouble. So you're going to have to get especially creative at how to solve those situations. And I'm okay with that. I embrace it. I like that kind of play style. RuneScape seems to not want to allow me to do that. And so that's sort of the issue I have with RuneScape. Wipeout says, but Ultima doesn't have that strange inventory limitation that you're talking about. And in UO, those regions can get expensive, but mages can make money quickly in various ways. In Ultima Online, you just buy the regions, auto-pick them up as you run around in the wild, or kill someone and take theirs. And Creepy is here. Hello, Creepy. Thank you for the bit. Creepy says, Restricto. How are you doing, Creepy? And Creepy has redeemed Hydrate. Very well. Cheers, Creepy. Wipeout says, but in Ultima Online, you can also just teleport around to all the vendors to shop for regions. Well, in RuneScape, you always have your home teleport, which is free, and you can use that once per hour. It has an hour cooldown. You can get teleports to the other places around the world map. Like I just found out yesterday that I can get a teleport to take me to the big town called Varrock, or it's just south of Varrock. But to do that, I have to go buy a guide from someone. I think it's someone in Draenor Village, that's not very far from the starting city anyway. And then I have to buy basically charge cards, which cost even more money. And so every time I want to use the Varrock teleport, I have to use a charge card, and that will let me teleport to the town of Varrock. And so eventually you're going to run out of cards, so you have to go back to that merchant in Draenor and buy more cards. And so that's kind of a little annoying. On top of that, you always have to have the book in your hand to teleport. So that's also a little annoying. It's not truly inconvenient because you can just go to the bank at whatever city you're in, take the manual out of the bank, and then use a charge card to teleport to Varrock, and then just put the book back in the bank to keep your inventory kind of clean, and then just go do whatever business you have in that town. But the fact that you have to keep spending money infinitely to always be able to utilize that teleport, that's kind of irksome to me. I don't like that. I did read about other teleports in the game that you can use to get around to other areas, but in order to be able to use those, you have to be a paying member of Old School RuneScape. And that kind of irks me a little bit too. And Creepy has redeemed, hello, I'm new to stream. Well, welcome Creepy to our stream for the very first time. Again, I hope you're doing well. Creepy says sadness. Why sadness, Creepy? Wipeout says, and if you die, your regions are on your corpse. So you need backup regions to recover your corpse with your other regions. So if you are a noob, you don't carry much regions in case you die. But then when you're a baller and you are confident, you start carrying more and more on you. Yeah, but you need to play P99 EverQuest, not official EverQuest. Ultima is amazing as long as you understand how vast it is. I see. Well, I don't know if... I don't know how to play P99. Because I don't know if that's something that's offered through Steam. June says, playtime doesn't really matter. If you know what to do, it goes faster. Well, that's, as a new player, you don't really know what to do in Old School RuneScape. Runes don't take a long time to get. Attacking enemies and doing the same thing over and over again is what Old School RuneScape is. But by what you're saying, I would say that you won't like true Old School RuneScape. EverQuest is a very light on story. Ultima has no story. You are the story. See, I would kind of be okay with that in Ultima. I would make my own story, and my story would be the pursuit of... I think it would be like 3 things in Ultima. The primary story that I would make would be the pursuit of magic power. That would be my #1 goal. The second goal would be a craftsman. I would try to find out whatever item in the game would benefit mages the most. So in EverQuest, it was jewelry. And so that's why I became a jeweler in EverQuest. So if the same thing was true in Ultima Online, then my second main storyline or quest would be to pursue the crafting career of being a jeweler. And then the third thing that I would do or focus on a lot would be like general stuff. So like stuff that I enjoy in old school RuneScape. It would be stuff like wood cutting, fishing, cooking, just like stuff that I would probably spend a lot of time doing. So like in EverQuest on PS2, I had actually achieved my goal for the most part of being at the top of my game in terms of magery. Like I was the most powerful wizard you could be, basically. Aside from like two like rare quest items, I needed like a specific wand, which dropped from a rare mob that was hard to get to, and a pair of boots that only drop from a raid boss sometimes on the Plane of Fear. But aside from those two items, I was like pretty much the most powerful wizard that you could be in EverQuest on the PS2. And so I just spent most of my time fishing and crafting jewelry after that point, because that became like my new main thing, was just to do that for fun and for profit. And that's probably what I'd end up doing in Ultima Online if I were to play it. I would focus first on becoming a powerful mage, maybe scoop up a trade alongside to help support that. And then once I had sort of felt like I had become that thing, then I would just kind of like play around on the side and do some other stuff. Keep focusing on my crafting and keep focusing on just fishing or having fun that way. Ruby says, be everything you can be. Join the army? Wipeout says, see, Ultima has the free-form character development that RuneScape has, but the limitations of not being able to be the master of everything. Ruby says, Orphe, you should play a TTRPG with me sometime. What's a TTRPG? I mean, I'm playing an RPG now, and I'm drinking some tea. It's nice apple spice tea. But I don't know what a TTRPG is, just what a T along with RPG is. Kirby says, that's new. Used to be just the runes last time I played. Wipeout says, in Ultima Online, you can mark a rune at any location in the game and use a spell called Recall to instantly teleport yourself to a marked location at any time. You can kind of do something like that in Final Fantasy XI. In Final Fantasy XI, you could talk to someone called, I think it was something like a Bind Master, basically, where you always had your home teleport available to you. Just like in old school RuneScape, you always have your home teleport. But the difference is that in old school RuneScape, your home teleport always brings you to the town you started the game in, which you don't have a choice about. In Final Fantasy XI, you can choose any starting town, but even after choosing a starting town, you can go to different other towns and say, well, I want to make this town my new home teleport, basically. And so whenever you cast your home teleport spell, it would just take you back to that town. And that made things very convenient, because if you didn't have a teleport spell for that specific town, and you just wanted to farm around that area, then you would just go to that town, talk to an NPC, and make that your home teleport. So that way, if you died out in the world map, you were just teleported to that town, instead of being teleported to your original home teleport, which might be 45 minutes of travel away. So, it's pretty cool. But in EverQuest, what I liked is that wizards had teleport. Well, and first of all, at least on EverQuest on the PS2, you could fast travel to every town, or at least every town that would want to kill you on sight. But beyond that, you also had teleports that you could use infinitely to travel to other regions of the world, some of which were close to towns, and some of which were just in far-off places on the world map. And so in EverQuest, I was very powerful. I was a very strong mage, which I liked. I had my desire for a pursuit of power fulfilled, but I also had the want of quick travel, the desire for quick travel fulfilled as well, due to fast travel from the carriage system, and from the teleports. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I would just go into EverQuest and wander around for fun, but I knew if I ever wanted to get from one place to another, I could typically get there very, very quickly. And the same is not always true, actually, it's not true at all, of old school RuneScape, unless you're a paying member and you have like access to those other teleports and other means of travel. Fusion says, LOL, welcome to old school RuneScape, Orfeo. I had a feeling you were going to hit a brick wall in the game, yeah. iPod says, yeah, but in Ultima Online, runes are physical things. You can trade them with people. So for instance, if you run a rune shop, you can keep a bunch of marked runes to your shop on you, and when you meet another player, you can give the rune so they can visit your shop easily. Oh, that's cool. People even make public rune libraries, where you can go and look through huge collections of runes that take you all over the world. That is really cool. Okay, I am caught up now. So, let's log into some old school RuneScape and see what's going on. This week we have even more Pole 78 content. Craft runes directly into your rune pouch. Magic secateurs now work on bushes and limpworts, as well as from the inventory. Can't forget the Belladonna improvements. I think as far as rune pouches go, I think that's something else. But I think that allows you to hold more runes. But I think that's only available to to paying members. I don't think that's available to everyone. Okay. So yeah. You can see I have a ton of air runes on me. I have over 1,000 air runes. Let me see how many fire runes I have on me. I have, what is this? Even more air runes. 16 body runes, 8 earth runes, 99 water runes, 4 chaos runes. I don't have any fire runes. So if it wasn't for my fire staff, I would not be able to use fire magic at all. But what is kind of tempting for me to do is, because I have so many air runes, you know, I think I will do this. It's a much lower level spell, but I would rather rely on older spells that are free. Um, I don't know. I was thinking I could just put all the air runes back, pull out my air staff, and just use that. And that would give me one extra space in my inventory, because all I would have to carry would be mind runes. But I think the fire spell is actually stronger than the air spell. I don't know if it is or not. You know what? Let's go test it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that some mobs are going to be weaker to fire or air or whatever. just because that's how elemental resistances work. But let's give it a shot. And if the fire spell and the air spell do the same damage or do close to the same damage, then what I might do is just go back to using the air staff. Alright, so this is a level... What level rat? Level 1 rat. Okay. Let's set our combat options. Okay, it's already set on the fire spell. That's good. Is he talking to me? Oh, that's a level 21 player. That's interesting. Nah, he wandered out. Well, whatever. Whatever. Let's just get out of here. I'll go fight rats outside. And attack rats. Okay, so that was a one-hit KO. Let's try combat option. Choose spell. Wind Strike. Let's see. Because your magic gets stronger, attack. The higher level you get as well. No, that took 2 hits. Now, it would make sense to me, though, if rats were weaker to fire than wind. I feel like I would rather put away all of my air runes and save them for what I might consider to be a boss type situation. And when that happens, go to a bank and break out my fire staff and then use the more powerful fire magic. Hold on. Let me go to magic and see what are the requirements for the other spells that I can use. Okay, so I need mind and wind. Not going to use that. That's members only. Water strike. Earth strike. Fire strike. Wind bolt. I do have a chaos rune, or a few. I could use wind bolt. Is there any other spell that I can use for free? Basically, I mean, well, not for free. You always have to use Mind Runes. But is there any other spell that I can cast? Oh, I guess you don't need Mind Runes all the time. Varrock Teleport doesn't need a Mind Rune. But is there any other spell that only requires one elemental rune so that you can abuse it by using a staff of that element to not have to pay that rune? Not that I'm noticing. Fusion says, I just checked my bank and have 77,000 fire runes, and I play like hardly ever. By the way, my account was made 1,568 days ago, and I only have 6 days, 4 hours, and 50 minutes played. That's not counting all other runes I have. That is a lot of runes in a relatively short period of time. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay. We are going to keep our combat set to wind. And we are going to speak to the banker. Oh, wait, I can't do that yet. Let's go to Equipment Worn. And then... Actually, no, let's talk to the banker. Because I want to see what our stats drop by. Oh, okay. Let's get our Wind Staff. And now let's view equipment. And let's see how our stats change when I equip the Staff of Air over the Staff of Fire. Okay, so I saw two things change. But the important thing is that the bonus to my attack, or the magic bonus to my attack didn't change. I think stabbing went down. Let me do that again. Okay. So, stabbing attack with the Wind Staff is 3 points lesser than the Fire Staff. What else changes? Was that the only thing that changed? Oh, no. There's another one. Okay, so it looks like the crushing attack is different. Yeah. The crushing attack with the Wind Staff is 2 points lower than the Fire Staff. So the Fire Staff is the more powerful staff. But if it's just about casting magic, then it doesn't really matter. So we're going to stay with that staff for now. We're going to save our air runes. Let's speak with the banker again. And we are going to deposit all of our air runes. And our fire staff. And let's slide this stuff over. There we go. And let's adjust our fire staff here. What is this? Earth staff? Earth staff, okay. Drag this up there. Very good. And let's close this. All right. Now, we don't need to carry air runes on us because we have infinite air runes since we are using our air staff. All we need are mind runes, and we have like 330-something mind runes. So we have the ability to cast plenty of air spells. Okay. So let's see what we're going to get up to today. Quests. Wrong button. Why is that coming up? I mean, I guess that works. I didn't know this hotkey was... that I made it for magic, but I guess that works. Quests. Okay. Let's see what we got here. I want to knock out all the novice quests before I even begin dabbling in intermediate. So we have Demon Slayer. I think we tried all these already. Let me see. Read journal. I can start this quest by talking to Oris in her tent in Varrock Square. Difficulty Novice. Storyline Demon Slayer number 1. Length short. Year release 2001. Requirements none. Recommendations combat level 15. So we are going to have to do some fighting. Okay. What's our current combat level? 16. Okay. We have to go to Varrock? Alright. Let's do it. Demon Slayer. Show on map. It's right next to the main square. Okay. So we have to... Where am I? I'm here. Okay. So it looks like the best way to get to Varrock, for free anyway, would be to exit here, go across the bridge, take the road north, and follow that all the way up until it forks, then choose the left fork, follow that up, and right into Varrock, and it'll take us right to the quest area. Alright. Let's do that. What is the spell I'm using called? Wind Strike. A basic air missile. Okay. I mean, if no one else is going to take it, I'll take the coins. I feel like this could be a way to just make money in this game if you wanted to. just to like hang out here and just pick stuff up that people don't care for or that don't want. Why do the frogs look so diff? Talk to frog. What? Don't look at me. I'm just a frog. Ribbit, ribbit. And an earth rune. Nice. I don't know where the frogs went. Ooh. Wow, that's a lot of fish. I'm not going to do it. I'll be here forever. Let's just continue to Varrock. I feel like if you just want to gain money in this game, this is a really good way to start. Is just hanging out here. Examine charred bones. I don't even want to think about what did that. Yeah, this is a good area just to hang out with. Or just to hang out around to collect stuff. You can collect cow hides. You can collect beef. You can collect coins and bones. Not bad. Not bad at all. You can collect more runes. You can collect chicken. Fish. About everything. Okay, now the road has split. Now we take the road to the left. I have to say, I'm not quite as confident as I was back when I was just running my fire staff. But, we'll get through it. These guys make me a little nervous, the Dark Wizards. They're only level 7, but I'm using a level 1 spell, so there's that as well. Oh, one of those is level 20. One of those Dark Wizards. Took some more coins. And continue straight ahead. Oh, okay. I thought the guard was attacking me. I'm like, what did I do? I'm just hanging out. An evil chicken? What does it mean, an evil chicken? How can a chicken be evil? No, 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 no. The evil chicken is level 159? What the heck? Examine evil chicken. A foul beast. Oh, funny, funny. Wow. I kind of want to hang out here until... Oh, that works. Actually, that's what I want right there. Unless he took them already. He took them already. What am I wearing? Black robe. I'm wearing the same thing. Thought maybe I could get some better gear here, but I guess not. What I really want are the bones. I want to try something. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh, that's not good. Guard! Help me! Oh, I'm about to die. Okay, good. I almost died. Use bones on Stray Dog. We'll see if I can catch up, though. It happily gnaws on them. Aww. You can give bones to the dog. That's nice. Now I wonder if he's going to follow me. Yep. Shoo away, Stray Dog. I don't want to shoo him away. And pet him. Who's a good doggy? I wonder what 33222 star is on my chat. There's another quest nearby. I think maybe I have to talk to Eliza if I want it. Alright, speak with Otis. Hello, young one. Cross my palm with silver, and the future will be revealed to you. Well, I have gold. Good thing I've been looting gold on the way here. pop in the earbuds so I can actually hear the game. Okay. Start the Demon Slayer quest? Yes. Okay, here you go. Come closer and listen carefully to what the future holds for you as I peer into the swirling mists of the crystal ball. Oh, she's levitating it. I can see images forming. I can see you. You are holding a very impressive looking sword. I'm sure I recognize that sword. There is a big dark shadow appearing now. Arg! Are you alright? It's Delrith! Delrith is coming! Who's Delrith? Isn't that someone from the Angry Joe show? An old character, anyway. Delrith. Delrith is a powerful demon. Oh! I really hope he didn't see me looking at him through my crystal ball. He tried to destroy this city 150 years ago. He was stopped just in time by the great hero, Wally. Using his magic and sword Silverlight, Wally managed to trap the demon in the stone circle just south of this city. Ye gods! Silverlight was the sword you were holding in my vision. You are the one destined to stop the demon this time. Okay. How am I meant to fight a demon who can destroy cities? If you face Delrith while he is still weak from being summoned, and use the correct weapon, you will not find the task too arduous. Do not fear. If you follow the path of the great hero Wally, then you are sure to defeat the demon. Wally doesn't sound like a very heroic name. Yes, I know. Maybe that is why history doesn't remember him. However, he was a very great hero. Who knows how much pain and suffering Delrith would have brought forth without Wally to stop him. Wally was the wall. It looks like you are going to need to perform similar heroics. So how did Wally kill Delrith? Oh, flashback. Wally managed to arrive at the stone circle just as Delrith was summoned by a cult of chaos druids. Die, foul demon! Now, what was that incantation again? Urchai, Aber, Carlem, Carminthium, Gabendino. I am the greatest demon slayer ever. By reciting the correct magical incantation and thrusting Silverlight into Delrith while he was newly summoned, Wally was able to imprison Delrith in the stone block in the center of the circle. Delrith will come forth from the stone circle again. I would imagine an evil sorcerer is already starting on the rituals to summon Delrith as we speak. Where can I find Silverlight? Silverlight has been passed down through Wally's descendants. I believe it is currently in the care of one of the king's knights called Sir Pryson. He shouldn't be too hard to find. He lives in the royal palace in this city. Tell him Aris sent you. What is the magical incantation? Oh, yes. Let me think a second. Alright, I think I've got it now. It goes Urchai, Aber, Harlem, Caraminthum, Nabindo. Have you got that? I think so, yes. I feel like no, I don't. Okay, thanks. I'll do my best to stop the demon. Good luck, and may Guthix be with you. You've unlocked a new music track, Wally the Hero, and you've started a new quest, Demon Slayer. I feel like this isn't going to work for me. The stone circle she's talking about is the one just south of the town, and it's the one that I almost got killed at because there was a level 20 Dark Wizard there, and I'm only like level 16. So the Dark Wizard should kill me pretty quickly. And even if the Dark Wizard did not kill me pretty quickly, I guess you have to clear out a decent number of the Dark Wizards so that then you can fight the demon, and I'm guessing the demon is combat level 15, which is why it recommends you be combat level 15 for this mission. And who knows if I'll be exactly strong enough to beat him. I'm probably going to have to switch back to my fire staff and use fire spells. And then the guy's probably not even going to give me the Silverlight Sword initially. I'll probably have to go do a mini quest for him to earn his favor to get the sword. And then I feel like this is going to be a very lengthy mission. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go over here and just buy a paper. Can I have a newspaper, please? Certainly, Gov. That'll be 50 coins, please. Jeez, that's expensive. Maybe when I've got more money on me. Well, no cash, no paper. Live in ignorance. I wonder what the paper even tells you. I don't know, folks. I don't know. I mean, it's been fun here for a while in the world of Gelinor, but I feel like maybe now is the time to move on. Like, I'll always be grateful for the short time I spent here in Gelinor, and I'm glad that I got to try it and make a character and create my wizard and go on some of the quests that I did. And I'm not going to delete my character. And who knows, maybe one day we'll come back. But I feel like it's just, I'm not getting out of it what I want. I feel like it's, I don't know. Now I'm just not feeling it anymore. I think we're actually going to log out. Well, no. We are, but before we log out, I want to hit up a bank. And I want to deposit some stuff so that when the next time I come back to this game, I'm not questioning like what to do or where to go. Well, I'll question where to go and what to do, but I won't have like excess stuff in my inventory. Let's go north and then west. North. Ripped old school RuneScape. Sad moment. Now on to better MMOs that you will also hate. I hope not. I hope I don't dislike them. I mean, I didn't like this game. I just feel like it doesn't do what I would want to do in this game. That might not make sense. Like, I feel like I would make significant tweaks and changes to this game if I could to make it play differently. Am I even going the right way? I'm not going the right way. I have to go back to the square. But if the changes I would want to implement were implemented, this would no longer be old school RuneScape. Like I say at the beginning of every of stream that I have, pretty much, you know, not every game is for every person. So I feel like this is definitely a world someone could get lost in and learn to love. But ultimately it may not be for me, or at least not for me right now. And okay, continue going west, and the building will be on my right. Okay. So go this way. And this should be the bank right here. Oh my goodness. Stop. That's also something else that drives me a little nutty about this game, where you don't have direct control over your character. You have to click somewhere and then wait for him to walk to that point. I mean, it has a plus and a minus. Like, the plus is that you can kind of be lazy. You can just be like, go there. And then your character will figure out how to get inside the building and outside of the building, go around certain obstacles to get to that point that you just pointed to. But I also really prefer having direct control over my character's movements and not having to rely on, like, the game to interpret what path to take. Because if something crazy happens and I want to make changes on the fly, I feel like it's kind of hard for that to happen with this kind of system. Wipeout says, whether you decide to play EverQuest, EverQuest 2, Ultima Online... What? Oh, Ultima Online Forever, Ultima Online... Ultima Online... Outlands, or Final Fantasy 15, I'll play any of those with... Oh, you mean 14. I'll play any of those with you. Well, that's cool. Excuse me. I don't think I'm going to go to Final Fantasy 14. Oh, it's Santa. I played Final Fantasy 11 for a few months. Like I said, I think it was maybe half the year. And I enjoyed it for like the half the year I played it. And 14, that people say, is just like a better version of 11. But I don't like the idea that it's basically a free trial. That's pretty much what I've heard about Final Fantasy 14. Like, in some respects, it's similar to old school RuneScape. Though in old school RuneScape, it seems like you basically have access to the first half of the game for free. And there's a lot of content in the first half of the game. Sorry, doggo. Gonna go. Whereas in Final Fantasy 14, I think it's like if you want to play that for free, you can, but you can only upgrade your character's like skills or level so high, and then you get walled off unless you pay. I really do like the idea of just a completely free MMO like EverQuest and EverQuest 2 and Ultima Online. So I'm more willing to go that route. As far as which one I'll be playing next, probably EverQuest, because that was the plan originally, just to go to EverQuest and then go to Ultima Online after that, and then circle back around to RuneScape with RuneScape 3. So may end up doing that. Fusion says, I think the problem is you're too late to the party. How so, Fusion? Ipod says, yes, that is true. Late to the party is going to be a thing with any MMO at this point. You try to start your MMO runs when there is a launch of a new server. And RuneScape has no such server system where a player can experience a fresh world. Well, they do, actually. The world that I first jumped onto was a fresh world. It was a new world. But it was recommended that I come here because this is like the main free-to-play world. But I could always log out from here and I could go to a different world that has far fewer people, and that would probably be a newer world. But the thing is, you can just hop back and forth between worlds at will. So, yeah, 14 I meant, yeah. There is a balance in MMOs between individual convenience and social dependence. Modern MMOs have more convenience for players, but there's less incentive for socialization. Jin says, I'm telling you right now, don't even bother with RuneScape 3. The same thing as this, but nice graphics and a worse game. Aww. Mybot says, older MMOs have less convenience, but that's what creates the in-game social bonds. Fusion says, also, there is no new world in old school RuneScape. It's just servers. Yeah, that's what I meant. Mybot says, well, that's exactly what... okay, that is what it means. Because you can switch worlds and bring things with you. There is no such thing as a fresh world. Yeah. Talking about when everyone is starting fresh. Mm-hmm. And everyone is doing the gold rush, so to speak. There is actually one way to do that in old school RuneScape. But you have to do it like just after you created your character. So like just after you create your character, it asks you, do you want a new world or do you want an established world? And I chose established. But if you choose new world, it will literally throw you onto a new world. But I think you only have 2 weeks in that world. And after 2 weeks, you basically get kicked out. So it's like a server that I think like it's new and everyone just logs in for the first 2 weeks and then they all get booted basically. And it seems like that's done for speedrun purposes, like just to see how high up the leaderboards you can get within 2 weeks. So most new players don't even go for new worlds. It seems most new players go for established worlds. It's the people who are very skilled at the game. Those are the people who tend to create alts. And with those alts, they go into the new worlds to try to set records in the new worlds on those leaderboards. You're better off playing New World or Lost Ark, to be honest. Alright, well, let me go use the bathroom. And then I will come back, and we'll see what we'll get up to. So, boob. All right, I am back. Thank you for your patience. Let's get the gameplay back up. All right, let me catch up with chat. Okay, here we go. Wipeout says, the biggest problem with all of these MMOs, though, is dwindling player population and server age. Catching the launch of a new server for your MMO of choice is really the best way to experience any MMO. Yeah, I remember for a while, I quit EverQuest on the PS2 just because I got tired of it, like, after 6 years. And then briefly I went back. And it was very brief. I think I went back for like a month and a half. And literally, everyone I had played with before was gone. It was an entirely new, like, it felt like an entirely new server. Like, no one I knew before was there anymore. And they were all trying to achieve things that were like really early game goals. But it's like there weren't any people on the server anymore that had achieved a lot of the stuff that I had achieved, and it felt kind of lonely. And so I hung out there for like a month or so, just sort of like hanging out, but it's like I had already seen pretty much everything in the game there was to see, and then I just let my subscription lapse and just left and never went back. Weapon says, catching the log. Yeah, that. Fusion says, exactly. Luckily, I played New World and Lost Ark when they both came out, so my itch is gone to play that. But his problem is, it can be years between new servers going live in these games, and if you don't keep your ears to the ground patiently, you'll just miss it or forget entirely. That's why it's a huge deal when Blizzard announces a new Classic WoW server, or P99 announces a new Classic EQ server, or Daybreak announces a new EQ2 progression server, or a new private Ultima server is launched. Fusion says, that's why I don't bother with MMOs. I'll play if everyone is playing at release, but I won't dedicate myself to one. Exception is old school RuneScape, just because I know what I'm doing in it, and it's not something I have to play every day. I can sit back and AFK skills while watching a show or movie. Are you really playing it at that point, though? If you're just, like, watching a TV show? I mean, I kind of do the same thing sometimes when I'm grinding. But I'm not sure that's not really playing. It's experiencing part of the game, but it's not like, I don't know, diving into like the meat and potatoes of what makes the game the game. Weapon says, you want to experience those worlds with the max population and people who are progressing through the same parts of the game as you. And everyone is making new friends and building relationships and working to get to new places or kill things that haven't been killed yet. Be the first to get that rare item or get the OP item that will be nerfed and will make you a legend for possessing. Stuff like that also happened in Destiny. That's how you get the experiences that you'll tell stories about for the rest of your life. In EQ, I think the big problem is being there for that fresh server start more than anything. In Ultima Online, the big problem is the massive learning curve and the sheer complexity of the controls and systems. You absolutely must use a keyboard and mouse for Ultima. I'll use a controller. It's fine.
There is absolutely no way you can play Ultima Online effectively without the Kabam, the keyboard and mouse. Student says, must find a way to convert Orpheo to Kabam. If you're clicking and moving, yes. If it wasn't playing, you get booted off. I see. The meat and potatoes are killing if it's AFK or not, lol. Alright, let me change the stream category. Well. I mean... I think just to make this easier, I'm going to end stream and change the category to games plus demos, and then start the stream back up again. Because this will probably be like the last video I upload to the YouTube channel for Old School RuneScape, and I don't want to do editing. So, yeah, I'll be back in like less than 2 minutes.